Yeah, friends, today we are going to deal with part 3 of the Constitution. This part 3 of the Constitution deals with Article 12 to 35, and out of this 12 to 35, fundamental rights have been enshrined. This fundamental rights have been dealt from Article 14 to Article 32. Yes, friends, so what are these fundamental rights? These are the rights provided by the fundamental law of the land. The fundamental law of the land, we have seen that this is that is Constitution. So these are the rights provided by the Constitution, hence we say that these are the fundamental rights. And these are against the government. What is the meaning of against the government? These put an end to the arbitrary action of the government. Government cannot make a law which takes away your fundamental rights. So it places limitations on the authority of the states. This is second property. And these are justiciable. Like whenever you feel that your fundamental rights have been taken away, like you are deprived of your fundamental rights, you can move to the court so that the court will look into the issue and they guarantee the fundamental rights to you. And these are not absolute, like so you should not think like fundamental rights have been provided, so I can do whatever I want. These are not absolute rights, but qualified. Means we have some reasonable restrictions to protect the public order. Means whatever the rights we enjoy, that should not disturb our public order. So, and the concept of these fundamental rights have been borrowed from the Constitution of USA. These are the basic points what we need to remember about the fundamental rights. The first thing is it is against the government, against the arbitrary action of the government, and these are justiciable in the court. And these laws are guaranteed and protected by the Constitution. And means the judicial review is accepted here. And these are not absolute, there is a reasonable restriction, and this is been borrowed from Constitution of USA. This is very important, friends. Yeah, so what are these fundamental rights? We'll see now. The fundamental rights are like this: right to equality, right to freedom, right to against exploitation. So you see there are 6 fundamental rights. One is right to equality. It talks about Article 14 to Article 17, and right to freedom. This talks about Article 19 to 22. Right to against exploitation. It talks about Article 23 to 24, and right against right to freedom of religion. It talks about Article 25 to 28, and cultural and educational rights. This is about Article 29 to Article 30, and right to constitutional remedies. This is Article 32. This is very important as per fundamental rights have been concerned. So there are 6 fundamental rights. Earlier there used to be 7 fundamental rights actually. That right to property was the fundamental right, but it was abolished by 44th Amendment Act. So remember, this is the 44th Amendment Act, and right to property was under Article 31. See here, there is a gap here. Article 30, cultural and educational rights were included until Article 30, and the Constitutional Remedies Act was started at Article 32. Article 31 was missing, that is right to property. It was abolished by 44th Amendment Act. Just remember this thing. Yes, friends. Now we look into the what are the articles covered under this Part 3. The first one is Article 12. What is this Article 12 says? This describes the state. What is the meaning of the state concerning fundamental rights? So what is the meaning of that state which guarantees as fundamental rights is being described under this Article 12. So what is the state? According to this article, state can be union government, state can be state government, state can be local government such as municipalities, panchayats and district boards. And all authorities such as statutory and non-statutory like LIC, ONGC, all this also included in this definition of the state under this Article 12. Don't confuse the state with whatever the union of states what we have said in the earlier class. That isn't, this is different. Here the state means which gives guarantee to our fundamental rights. So these are the provisions which gives guarantees our fundamental rights. If any of these takes away your fundamental rights, you can move to the court as per the Article 32. That's what meaning of state here. Yes. Then what does this Article 13 says? Article 13 declares that all the laws that are inconsistent with or in derogation of fundamental right is void. So whatever the law which is taking your fundamental right, whatever the law which is taking your fundamental right, that is said to be void, that is not valid law. That is said by Article 13. As per the Article 13, it says, it's clearly saying that if something is taken away your fundamental right, that law is not a valid law. So it provides the doctrine of judicial review. It clearly says that you can move to the court, and court can court may take action. So that is what Article 13. As per the Article 13, you can move to the court. So Article 12 and 13 gives the basis of fundamental rights, and from this fundamental rights have been started. So what are the fundamental rights? The first we said that is right to equality. Right to equality is from Article 14 to 17, friends, and Article 14, it guarantees to all the persons. See here, this according to the Article 14, equality is given to all the persons. Persons means citizens as well as others. Here aliens means foreigners also included in this Article 14. So what it guarantees is, it guarantees equality before law and equal protection of law. This is what given by Article 14. So we are given equality before law and equal protection of law. Yeah. And what does Article 15 says? It says that prohibition of discrimination on the grounds of religion. So no person can be discriminated on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. And what does it means? Like you are provided with equal access to shops, hotels, wells, tanks, bathing guards, roads, etc. So as because of your based on your religion, if you are, let us say that if you are a Muslim, you should not be you should not be stopped to get into a shop. You should not be stopped to get into a hotels. You should not be stopped into a wells. That is what because of based on the religion or race, caste, you should not be given discrimination. This is what given under this Article 15. And this Article 15 is not it's clearly saying prohibition of discrimination. But you can discriminate who is a foreigner. You can discriminate between foreigner and Indian. So Article 15 is not valid for all. There is a limitation. It is only for citizens of India. Yeah. Article 16, it says that equal of opportunity in public employment, equality of opportunity. So Article 16 says that government should be provided equal of opportunity in public employment. This is what given by this Article 16. So, but in this article there is something is given, the important thing that you may get out, equal opportunity. So in India there are different kinds of people. We have different kinds of caste. So we said that other caste, there is OBC caste, there is SC caste, scheduled caste, there is scheduled tribes. All these things are there. So you may get doubt like when equal opportunity in public employment is there, then why is there is reservation? Why is the reservation? Based on this single sentence, you don't judge Article 16. So there is some other provision in this Article 16 that Parliament has empowered with the limitations of equal opportunity. So Parliament has given some other powers to bring up the other socially backward classes. What are the socially backward classes? They can be brought up by some provisions under this Article 16. It is having some limitations. So these limitations are empowered to Parliament. Yeah, so based on that only that they make a special provision for backward classes. Based on this only we are enjoying the people are enjoying reservations, OBC reservations, SC reservations, ST reservations. These are the things provided under Article 16. So though Article 16 says that it is equal of opportunity, so Parliament has empowered with certain limitations. That is what you need to remember. Yes. Then what is Article 17? This Article 17 abolishes untouchability. So there was practice of untouchability earlier, though of course now also it is available in some states of, now also it is practiced in some states of northern India and some parts of northern India, and some parts of southern India also. Yeah. So untouchability means based on something this is discrimination against a person. This is a very dangerous practice. So this was abolished under Article 17. This is a great provision as per Constitution is given. So this question has been asked in the CGL exam nearly 3 to 4 times in the past, friends. So remember that Article 17 abolition of untouchability. And what does it Article 18 says? It abolishes title except a military and academics. Like except a military, but titles, what is the meaning of titles? Earlier there used to be titles like Raja Bahadur, Raja the Raja. These kind of titles were abolished under the Article 18. So except a military, now also, but you may get out that we give some titles such as Paramavira Chakra. So these were exempted from this Article 18. So Article 18 abolished titles such as Raja Bahadur, Raja the Raja. These kind of titles were abolished under the Article 18. So this is what about right to equality. Article 14 guaranteed equality before law and equal protection of law. Article 15 said that it's a prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex and place of birth. And Article 16 says that equality of opportunity in public employment, but Parliament has empowered with limitations so that provisions for backward classes is given. And Article 17 said that abolition of untouchability, and Article 18 said that abolition of titles except military and academics. So this is what about right to equality, friends. Now we move to second fundamental right, that is right to freedom. What is there under this right to freedom? Right to freedom is from Article 19 to 22. So this under this right to freedom, Article 19 provides like a right to freedom. It is a protection of right to freedom. What kind of freedom is available? There are 6 kinds of freedom are provided on this under this Article 19. One is freedom of speech and expression. One is freedom to assemble and peacefully. One is freedom to form associations and unions. You can talk you can talk whatever things you want, and you can express whatever thing you want, and you can assemble peacefully. You can make a meeting, and you can form associations, means you can form unions, labor unions, such a kind of things. And you can move freely throughout the territory of India. The citizen of India can move freely throughout the territory of India, and you can reside and settle in any part of India, and you can practice any profession, and to carry any occupation. You can do any kind of business and such a things. But simple, you remember that you can practice any kind of, you can talk anything. Like if you are given you are provided with freedom of speech, you may think, can you talk anything whatever you want? But there are some reasonable restrictions. With reasonable restrictions, you should not disturb the public order with your speech. You should not disturb the public order with your expression. There are some restrictions. So Article 16 guaranteed us the freedom of speech and expression, freedom to assemble peacefully, freedom to form associations and unions, freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India, freedom to reside and settle in any part of India, freedom to practice any profession and to carry out any business or occupation, trade, and such a kind of things, but with reasonable restrictions. And there is one important thing we need to note down: this right to freedom. We have like a provision called emergency. When there is a national emergency is proclaimed, the fundamental rights under the Article 19 are automatically suspended. If like the President of India announced that now we are going to national emergency, then automatically this right to freedom will be suspended, and other articles also will be suspended, but is under Article 359, and these national like fundamental rights under Article 19 are suspended by Article 358. Yeah. Then what does this Article 20 says? Article 20 says that protection in respect of convictions. So Article 19 is given freedom, and Article 20 says that you are protected in case of conviction. So let us say someone is convicted. So what is the kind of protection he gets? So he shall not be convicted of any offence except for violation of law. So we are like simple for except a violation of law, he should not be convicted. That is the meaning of no ex post facto law. And no double jeopardy. No person shall be punished more than once. If you do like 2 murders also, you will be punished only once. So 2 murders you will not be getting 2 kinds of punishment, but you will be giving only one kind of punishment. Don't think you are going to murder. So I gave an example. It's a bad example, I know that. Yeah, no self incrimination. Like the person's self witness cannot be recorded. This is what Article 20 says. Like this is the protection in respect of conviction of offences. So these are the rights given to in case of a convicted person. And what about Article 21? Article 21 says that you are given a right to life. This is very important, right to life, and make a star mark here. So this right to life has some other parts. There is a question almost every alternate year on right to life. So right to life and personal liberty. No person should be deprived of his life or personal liberty, but he can live wherever he want. He can live in such a lifestyle he wants, but there is some reasonable restrictions also. So, but right to life was not clearly clearly understood by the people. So when Supreme Court has declared the following rights as part of this. In case of Maneka Gandhi, like you know that Maneka Gandhi we say that like Maneka Gandhi versus Union of India. So in this case, Supreme Court has interpreted this Article 21 and said that right to life implies right to live with human dignity, and right to decent environment including pollution free water, and right to livelihood, and right to privacy, right to shelter, and right to health. So right to life means all these things. So right to free education up to 14 years of age, right to women to treated with decency and dignity, right to information, and right to reputation, etc. These all were interpreted by the Supreme Court, and these all were not given directly by the Constitution. Constitution simply said that right to life. So Article 21 said that right to life, but our Supreme Court has interpreted all these things and said that these are the part and parcel of these fundamental rights. So every year, almost alternate year in SSC, there is a question which is coming up. Which of the following is not given directly by the Constitution but provided by the Supreme Court? So these are the things provided by the Supreme Court. Right to live with human dignity, right to live in decent environment, right to live livelihood, right to privacy. This right to job, livelihood is right to livelihood, right to get income. So right to privacy, right to shelter, right to health, right to free education up to 14 years of age, friends, and right to women to be treated with decency, and right to information. This is what again. So right to reputation, etc. These are not fundamental rights, but these form part and parcel of the fundamental rights. We can't say these are the fundamental rights. Then what is Article 21A? This Article 21A is also very important. This Supreme Court has interpreted that you need to give right to free education up to 14 years of age. So as per the Article 21A, right to children for right to education for children. This is right to education for children. This is an excellent provision given by the government in Constitution. That is the children from 6 to 14 years of age, they should provide with the education, that is compulsion education, and this is added to the Constitution as by 86th Amendment Act in 2002. This is very important. Right to education is provided under Article 21A. This is the very recent amendment, and as per Amendment Act, 86th Amendment Act, it was provided. And what about Article 22? It protect against arbitrary arrest. Like once you are arrested, earlier we have seen that it's against arbitrary, like convicted person, the rights for the convicted person, like you cannot be given no same punishment for two things, and you cannot yourself witness cannot be regarded, and no exposed fact, like no person shall be convicted of any offense except for violation of that is in force. Means for the past offense, now you cannot be, like if the law is not in force, you cannot be punished. That is what given. And what about the Article 22? So Article 22 says that protection of against arbitrary arrest and detention in certain cases. So someone, like if anyone arrests you arbitrarily, like what are the rights provided to you, that is explained in Article 22. The detainee shall be conveyed the grounds of arrest. The detainee, whoever is been arrested, he should give the what are the reasons for arrest, and then the detainee shall be provided in the court within 24 hours. He should be provided in the court within 24 hours, and he shall be provided an opportunity to hire an advocate. Like he shall be given an advocate, an opportunity to hire an advocate, and no person can be detained for more than 3 months without being advised by prescribed authority. So in some special cases, the persons are detained, but this detention should not cross more than 3 months unless there is a permission from prescribed authority. This is what given under this Article 22. And Parliament is authorized to fix maximum detention period. For fixing the maximum detention period, Parliament is the ultimate authority. Then it can authorize the maximum the detention period. This is what given in the Article 22. So this is what about fundamental rights, fundamental rights of people of India. So friends, we will discuss the remaining fundamental rights in the second part of this class. So stay tuned and please do subscribe. Be focused. Thank you very much.